say definitively that religions are all bullshit.
Welcome to Brainstorm.
We have the explicit tag for a reason.
This is a base level argument to a higher level morality.
I get paid to science?
To science as much as one can science.
What the hell was my point?
Trigger warning. The Brainstorm podcast will criticize your most cherished beliefs. We attack nonsense in all its forms and discuss difficult subjects. If you peddle pseudoscience, supernatural woo, or religious dogma, then this is not your safe place. This is the home of hardcore skepticism.
All right, to those listening to it live or to our patrons, welcome back. For those listening weekly, welcome to Shift to Reason Radio, the Brainstorm production that focuses on science, outreach, and education. We'll try our hand at teaching you a little bit about common skeptical topics, logical fallacies, errors in reasoning, as well as a bit about religious apologetics. Remember that we're live on Spreaker.com every second Friday, and today is February 3rd, 2017. I'm still joined by my panel of Destin. Yeah. Lisa.
Hi.
You took my high time. Fucking asshole.
You wasted it by calling me an asshole.
Renee.
Hello.
And of course Dave.
Not always amazing today.
Hi, I'm Destin.
That was a really good Destin impersonation. Good job, dude.
Racist.
Yeah, I'm racist towards white Destins.
Because I'm a race.
Yeah. So, I guess
We could erase you. No.
since we went through the rest of the crew, if you guys have any interest in anything about myself, then you can ask.
No.
I didn't think so. I'm glad.
Corey, who do you think you are?
Just some asshole on the internet.
Actually, do you lift things occasionally?
I do. I lift things up and I put them down.
And I
What does this
assume
do for you, dude?
you seem to be the type of person who enjoys putting water in a hole.
Well, I don't enjoy it. I do it for a living.
Okay.
So, yes, water goes in hole. Yeah, that's right.
Can you give some context to this water hole?
That's my job. Well, I
get that, but why?
I work
do
at
you do this?
a disposal plant in the oil field.
He's polluting the core of the planet.
Well, no.
Well, you're selling machines that use carbon, and what do you?
In the most efficient way possible.
When
the most efficient way that Mazda can make money doing it. But anyway,
when oil comes out of the ground, water comes with it. I just work at a place where we put it back in the ground.
Right where it came from.
Well, maybe not right where it came from.
So you're polluting the ground where you
but
are.
into a formation that has the space because somebody's already taken
So you're
oil out of it.
fracking.
Well, no, it's already been pulled out. The space is there. It's open space. Well, no, we might be fracking. We're running pretty high pressures.
You're forcing water into the ground via pressure, right?
Yes.
So you're fracking.
Well, but there's pressure even if you're not pushing.
if you lived in the Battlestar Galactica universe, saying that you were fracking would mean something else, and it would be a good thing.
Yeah.
It would be a good thing. Maybe not to do for a living, though.
I could make a couple jokes about things being under pressure with that, but
Make a Cylon joke. Make a Cylon joke.
Starbucks has a totally different meaning up there.
yeah. You're getting the name wrong. That mood means
I know it's
totally
Starbucks,
different.
but
Singular, dude.
I know.
All right.
I just watched all of Galactica again.
It becomes more and more intolerable as it gets more and more spiritual towards the end. Yeah.
The last episode.
Yeah, that was the
Oh,
sound
look
of
at
a
our lovely
microphone hitting
planet
his forehead. FYI,
and
everyone.
time travel. And,
Yeah,
Okay, you're geeking out a little early.
I loved it.
You what? Who said that?
I actually love that show. Like,
Oh, for
front to
fuck's
back.
sake!
Yeah, no, the
You were
show's-
not- the show, but the last episode.
I liked it.
Like,
No, I liked it.
the whole trend
That was
towards
so
the end. It
cheesy.
was so awful.
I liked it.
It
that was
awful.
oh shit, we have to end this show now. And we only have 2 episodes to
It was
finish everything.
people love spiritual things where it turns out that believing in stuff is better than thinking things because they're evidence based. Anyways,
Whoa, what's going on? My Facebook is
talking to me.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
You're on your phone.
I'd have
we're
to
all just
rewatch.
chatting.
This is the
have to-
educational show.
I'd have to rewatch it again, but
Way
Cory,
to throw us off, Cory.
when did
Cory.
you become an atheist?
He was born one, just like everybody else.
I didn't call myself an atheist until I was in my 30s.
Okay.
I decided
And how
that
old
I
are
was,
you now?
I'll be turning 40 this year.
Okay.
Maybe.
Maybe.
If you don't die first.
You got to last a
it's
couple more
honestly
months, yeah.
true, but
Yeah.
you're such an
either
asshole.
way,
I
you're
love
going
it.
to hell.
Eventually.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
There is one.
That's
So
only 4
screwed.
months away.
Not even now.
I guess, yeah.
But yeah. I guess I called myself agnostic when I was 17, much to my
Sitting on the
parents'
fence.
dismay.
Did you grow up religious?
No, not really. My parents, my dad and my stepmom became kind of born again Christians when I was in my teens, and yeah. So then
Then you turned into an agnostic. You're like, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I need to.
I started exploring like all kinds of weird shit and downloading, or not downloading, but because the downloading books wasn't a thing then.
No, we had books.
We had to go to the
I
library.
downloaded books, meaning I
Or
took them off
Bible.
the shelf and went beep, and then I had a book.
We had to go get
Analog
them from the
books.
library. Yeah, analog books. I got in shit one time because I got a book from the library called Satanism, Witchcraft, and
They had a
Something-
book at the library in Weyburn. It was called Satanism and Witchcraft. That's
Well,
actually impressive because you get like anti-abortion signs, billboards all the way down to Weyburn as
Yeah,
you drive there.
that's
So
it was pretty bad.
pretty impressive.
But yeah, I got in shit, and I had to spend an afternoon talking to our pastor about why I shouldn't.
Oh, that was your punishment.
Yeah, I shouldn't be reading books about witchcraft.
Now, if you could do that now, it'd be fucking
yeah.
hilarious.
Jeez, eh?
Hilarious.
I remember the chat he had with me was like, he said, tried to lay it out like he said, for God, because he's all knowing, all time happens for him at the same time. So like he's looking down on all the events in the world that happen. And I'm like, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
He's
Like,
omniscient.
I don't understand.
He was trying to describe omniscience too.
Yeah.
Hey, did you know that omniscience and omnipotence are, you can't be both, right? Like it's actually contradictory.
Yeah.
It's like, that's really interesting. Anyways.
I can't remember. I just listened to another podcast where they explained that. Like,
Well, because if you
again.
know everything that's going to happen, then how can you intervene to stop things, which is omniscient? How can you now intervene to stop things from happening, which is omnipotent? So,
Yeah.
anyways, continue.
So the two are self-contradictory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I got nothing else.
So then you became agnostic, and then when you turned 30, it magically made you an atheist.
Well, not magically, no.
You don't believe in the magic part?
I was going through a bit of a low self-esteem portion of my life, and
That's been the portion since he turned 5.
yeah, that's right. So then I decided to start lifting weights and start reading more and start learning some stuff. And
How is weightlifting related to atheism for you then?
well, it's not really
Okay.
but
It's not like-
it's related to self-confidence. Mm-hmm. So
Oh, what do you're not? You don't consider yourself part of the Church of Iron?
no, I do not. no, I do not. That's yikes.
Sorry, I'm just picturing Arnold Schwarzenegger in Pumping Iron, like when he's on the couch smoking a joint, and it's just like the funniest. Anyways,
I'm coming all the time.
Yeah, that's right. That's such a good scene. Eh?
that's the best movie.
For me, I'm always coming.
Always coming.
Jesus.
Oh my god!
And he'd make a better
He was
president.
the governor.
Make a better president than
pretty good
Trump.
governor.
By literally orders of magnitude, like it's not even like it's not even
that's
comparable.
He asked to take his job.
Yeah, I
this
know
week,
that's
so,
the
yeah,
kind of
you know.
the joke.
So why do you drink beer?
Yeah.
Why don't you have any taste?
in a pool of tomatoes?
I love Clamato juice. I just love it.
It's pretty gross, man. It's
No way.
For such
Just
a
to
man
watch, it's
that
gross.
pursues such intellectual pursuits, yet your tastes are so redneck.
I know, yeah.
So simple and pedestrian and redneck.
For an intellectual, Cory, I got to say, you hide it well.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
guess this is a roast Cory.
Yeah.
Aw.
Poor
It's only
guy.
possible because he's so like he takes it so well, you
That's-
know, like he's
yeah.
so good.
It
about
comes
it.
from me all the time, and he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's good. It's poor self-esteem.
Yeah. I don't know.
Man.
I guess that part just comes from being raised on a farm, being a redneck, like legitimate redneck who just happens to have intellectual interests.
You are a super interesting juxtaposition that way, right? Because you hold views and you speak as many people I've had conversations with at conferences in Munich who have 3 PhDs and 8 professorships and 20 grad students. You have like these ideas, and then you drink fucking Clamato juice with beer and
Cory
put
is
water in
Wear
horse.
ball
So like
caps all the time. Jeans on t-shirt is my
so
uniform.
isn't that interesting? I mean,
He's a
It's
living,
like-
breathing Green Day song. He's a walking contradiction.
no,
It's
it
like-
doesn't contradict. It's just why not?
Yeah, it's like,
why not?
did you know you cannot pull 2 quarks apart? They will actually bond stronger and stronger with all the force you put on it. Let's go shoot some gophers.
It's awesome.
That's a lot more fun than you're giving it credit for.
No, I've gone shooting gophers. It's a lot of fun.
So then that's another question I have for Cory. So what is your most like redneck tendency out of
Oh
your
yeah,
past?
rank them,
Like-
buddy.
Like what do you still do from that era,
Oh, geez.
despite the new Cory?
Despite the new Cory.
Or is it too spite than you?
Or too spite?
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's mostly just my mannerisms is the most
Right.
backwoods type thing.
Well, and this isn't an insult. This is just the truth. I mean, you could tell you're from Saskatchewan.
Right.
No, but
Yeah.
it's true. Like the way you talk and the way you like carry
Well,
yourself.
yeah.
It's
When I
just-
was
it's
on
an accent.
when I was on Wayward Atheists,
Yeah.
they mentioned like I have the most Canadian accent that they've ever heard.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
Are they Americans?
No, they're Canadians too.
That's funny because traditionally the most Canadian accent ever is actually those guys in Ontario that have
Yeah, that
what's that show?
Bob and Doug.
No. What the hell's that show?
This hour? I don't know.
No, it's not an
That's
intellectual
Newfoundland.
show at all. It's a hick.
Oh,
Ontario show.
Letterkenny.
Letterkenny.
Letterkenny's
That's
so good.
I ain't never heard of
that is the true
You could be
Canadian
on
accent.
Letterkenny. Actually, he could be on Letterkenny. Like as an actor.
Pitter patter, let's get at her then.
Yeah.
Yeah, eh?
Yeah.
That show is so good. It's so funny.
I just saw the clip where they had the hockey players show up and
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
the hillbilly, the redneck started chirping them.
Yep.
That's some grade A chirping, eh? I'm just like, fuck, that's funny, and that is so Canadian. Oh my god.
Why are you ripping your shirt off there, Becky?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shit.
That's a hard no there, bud. That's the penultimate.
Hard no.
They
Yeah.
smoke darts too, not
Yeah,
cigarettes.
darts.
That's
They're
right.
Darts.
Yeah,
Darts.
that's right.
Going for a dart.
Darts.
Go for a rip there, bud. That's Letterkenny.
Yeah.
Okay, Cory, say you'd committed some heinous crime, okay? And as a punishment, you had to go to grad school. Okay, that was...
That is the most bizarre punishment I think I've ever
I
heard.
understand how grad school can be a punishment, but
It's not just can be, but I think inevitably is. Okay, so that is the worst punishment they could think to dole out to you.
Okay.
What do you study? What do you want to study in your penitential
As a
grad school?
punishment.
But it's not as a punishment. It's what would you choose to study? No matter what you choose, it'll be a punishment. Doesn't matter. Trust me, it'll be horrible.
I don't know. I mean, my interests are too broad.
Is it going to be
Like,
science? Is it going to be social science? Is it going to be humanities, arts, engineering, medicine? Choose a faculty,
off
dude.
the top of my head, I want to say
Psychology.
philosophy.
Philosophy. I have a
But-
friend doing her PhD in philosophy.
Yeah.
so she's trying to get her professor's job.
she's also an admin assistant. But anyways,
She could be
she's
as
very smart.
She could have a great job and be a copy editor.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I'm not talking. That's part of his punishment, not having any marketable skills. Okay, like this is all part of the punishment that is grad school. So I'm just saying.
For some, right now, Simpson's going through my head. Look at me, Mom. I'm a grad student.
It ain't a lie. It's funny because it's true.
Bart, quit
man.
mocking people's poor life choices.
Yeah. What did I get your wife for her? Was it for Christmas or her birthday or whatever it was? I got her a
that book.
that's called "How to Survive Your Stupid Decision to Go to Grad School."
Yeah, that made me really. That made me feel really good about
Did
the
you
whole
read
grad
it?
school thing.
It's
No,
awesome.
no,
It's awesome. It's a good book. Everyone,
because
should
I'm
read it.
supporting grad school.
They actually provide like a card to give your students, to like a sympathy card that you're supposed to photocopy. You can give it to your students when they complain to you because you dock them half a mark, and it's like, I am so sorry for the loss of your half a grade. It's a very hard thing to lose. Anyway, it's hilarious. Sorry, Cory.
Hey, I don't know. I don't mind. Not
I didn't realize
talking
this.
about myself.
I didn't realize this is the mocking educational part of the show.
Yeah,
Cory hates talking about himself.
I don't mind.
Yeah,
not.
this is like pulling teeth, dude.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's your worst experience with a religion when you were younger?
Worst experience.
I thought you were going to say with a woman.
Like what? Well, that too. No. Well, what turned you off?
Oh, there's a
like,
lot of those.
really bad?
No shit.
We'll let Dustin list those. Okay.
We've all shared here.
There's going to be some similarities.
Yeah, that's right. Worst
Some
experience with a
parallels.
religious person. Oh fuck! You know, honestly, just having to go to church when I didn't believe what was being said there was, for me, like I never was abused in the name of religion or anything like that, and
You didn't get drunk on the wine, wake up
No.
next to some strange pastors,
It
that
just-
kind of shit.
I guess we had to do chores at our house for our cash or for our money, right? But when we got paid, 10% of that came off the top and went to our church.
Oh,
so
good
that
old
was annoying.
tithing. Good old tithing.
So that was annoying.
Knowing Dean, never made it there.
Well, no,
They docked your allowance?
Well, yeah.
10%.
Wow.
Religious tax.
Well, that's a thing in a lot of religions that you give 10%. Like, that's a thing. Like, Catholics do it, Mormons do it, fine. But, like, I've never heard of people doing it to their kid. Like, start that shit
Holy
young,
shit.
I guess.
Yeah.
God's a mafia, Don.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, after they stopped going
Protection
to a
tax.
physical
Yeah.
church, or maybe it was before they started going to a physical church, they used to watch Robert Schuller and the Crystal Cathedral on television all the time.
Oh, dear God.
And so all that money would go to him, and we'd get all these little knickknacks back.
Oh, Jesus, Lord Almighty.
Oh, this is your prize for worshiping God good and giving us money.
That's worse
Thanks
than
for
grad school.
$500.
Yeah, thanks for your $500. Here's our little miniature Crystal Cathedral thing.
Oh, man.
If you look really closely, it says sucker.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, my Lord.
You're talking about how only Christianity is good and we shouldn't support any other religion or any other culture. Why was this made in China?
Why was this Crystal Cathedral of God made in communist China?
Production costs.
Production costs.
Yeah.
If you had to choose one religion that you were a part of, yeah, I know you don't like any of them. But let's say the least awful one that you can think of.
Scientology.
I would choose Pastafarianism.
Ah, that's a good one. That doesn't count, though. Come
Counts.
on.
Come on.
No sarcastic religions.
you
No
gotta let me have that.
sarcastic
It's
religions.
sarcastic.
You can be like Zulu or something. You gotta be like.
I would pick dudism.
Yeah, dudism. Maybe Jedi. I'd be
Jedi's
I'd be
legit.
cool being a Jedi.
Well,
How about Shinto?
Shinto. I don't actually know that one.
Japanese.
it's Japanese.
Jainism is not too bad generally, I guess.
Buddhism, blah, blah, blah.
Buddhism.
Why
is
don't
bad.
you become a disciple of fucking Thor?
Hell yes.
Or-
Oh,
Or-
Greek religion.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's
religion.
Norse, but
What? Oh yeah, fuck whatever. It's all the same shit to me. No, but like something old school, right? Like
Yeah, for
something-
sure.
There is
Why not Zeus? Go for Zeus.
there is a neo-pagan movement in the Scandinavian countries bringing back
Right?
It's true.
Why
Thor-
the fuck not?
Thor and
Odin.
I'm for it.
Odin
I'm
and
for
all
it.
that. Why not?
Odin Force and
It's as legit as Christianity.
Oh, fucking right.
Shit.
Damn straight.
Well, people always use like
No,
atheists
it's more
always use
legit.
that as the argument, right? What's that guy's name? British comedian, whatever. Anyways, went on one of those talk shows this weekend. He said, like I.
Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, Ricky Gervais.
Gervais.
Thank you. And he said, well, I just I just believe there's like 300 different gods out there. You don't believe in 299 of them. I just go one god further.
That's
sort of
interesting.
thing.
I just saw a post on the Real Atheology page talking about how they consider that to be a terrible argument.
Really?
Yeah. Something about it's not acknowledging the mentality used to reach the conclusion, because they're not actually rejecting these other gods in the same way that we reject gods or something.
Yeah,
I don't
they've
think so. I
made
think-
their decision on which one's real, which one's right.
Yeah. They're
That's
not
the difference.
They're not using the correct methodology.
Yeah, no, well, the argument is you're right. All 299 of those are fake. Ours is the one that's real.
Yeah.
But let's face facts. They all say they know the true God. You're not going to get any of them. That God is true enough. like a kind of
Yeah, it'll work.
it's kind of like a kind of slutty deity. True enough.
And you get a lot of like people who are like maybe religious or they call themselves spiritual, and they're maybe not that fundamentalist, like people like my mother, and who say, well, it's all the same God, so and so believes in Allah and I believe in Jesus, and it's all the no. You get a lot of people like who aren't too hardcore saying, oh, it's all the same God. So they believe that everyone's actually believing in the same.
Hey, you worship
Supernatural
nature,
power.
you're still worshiping my God.
No, I'm serious, but a lot of people think that.
Yeah.
I think the Norse mythology is a lot more legit than anything current. They did say that they would get rid of all of the ice giants, frost giants.
Yes, the frost giants. It's true.
And did they? I don't see any frost giants
There's
around.
no frost giants around.
That's true. Good point.
What was the other meme I saw floating around for a while? It's like, my God has a hammer, your God has nails. You do the math.
That's right.
But I mean, Jesus did like die for our sins so we could go to heaven. I don't see any dead people walking around who haven't gotten into heaven.
He didn't die for anybody's sins.
That's what the Bible something says or something, maybe? I
to
don't know.
protect us from what he would do to us for not believing in him. So he decided he needed to be born and sacrifice himself to himself.
Right? So that we could all go to heaven. Because otherwise we wouldn't have believed in him. We would have gone to hell because that is a sin. He died for our sins. Bam.
Doesn't sound like a logical God to me that has to sacrifice himself.
To be
himself.
honest, I don't think the Bible ever claims that it's going to be a logical God, or that it even wants to be a logical God. Like, I don't know that that's actually a virtue.
That's true. Logic is never really introduced.
No, it's
is
not
it?
really something that's important in the Bible.
Despite arguments to the contrary, I don't think it really follows a logical linear progression.
Many apologists may differ. but-
Yeah.
And theologians.
Well, there's a simple version. God's an asshole. God makes everything. God's still an asshole.
The end.
People are assholes. Oh, sorry, guys. Here's Jesus. Kick his ass. God's nice. The end.
The end.
Well, I thought it was always God was an asshole until he had the son, the hippie, and then it kind of chilled out. I thought that's the way it was supposed to work.
More and more, like, if there was a God, I'd believe the storyline from Supernatural more than any other.
Right.
Like, he's just like, I didn't think it was my job. You guys kept fucking around no matter how
honestly,
often I intervened,
Yeah.
so
I made it. Here you go. Do whatever.
so I just fucked off.
Honestly, I think if there is such a thing as supernatural beings, it'd be more like Cthulhu, the Cthulhu mythos, where they're really detached and they really don't give a flying fuck.
Yeah,
It's not that they don't give a fuck. It's that they can't. 'cause
They
we're
actively
so far,
want to develop.
No, we're just so
devour your
far
souls.
below them.
Yeah, we're
like the way
inconsequential.
we don't care about ants. Like I'm like,
That we
there's
don't even
ants.
notice
That's
us,
nice.
Yeah,
Ants.
we're inconsequential.
Fair enough.
And now that we've totally derailed the whole fucking thing.
Stargate has good seasons on that kind of topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ascended people, and how most of them don't give a shit about humans, but then there's like a specific group that like exploits humans, and they create this fake religion to like suck up our devotion to them, kind of thing.
Okay.
So it empowers them in the next level, or whatever. It's pretty interesting. Anyway, no.
Yeah.
The Ori. Just look up the Ori.
I do remember watching a few episodes.
Hallowed are the Ori.
And she just went cross-eyed.
No, I was thinking of a question. I was thinking of a good question.
Stargate. It's good.
No, what's your favorite episode of Next Gen?
I don't
Star
have
Trek.
one.
Oh my, because you
He
don't
doesn't
like
Star
it.
Trek.
He's not a Trekkie.
I'm not a Trekkie.
Oh my god.
What's your next? What are you getting for a tattoo next?
I'm thinking Batman.
Lego Batman?
so
Lego
just a
Batman?
Not real Batman.
Just a guy doing this.
Like a-
Sad Ben Affleck on your
Sad
back.
Ben Affleck Batman. No, I don't know. I have been throwing some ideas around in my head for.
you need to get Patrick
new
Stewart's
Batman.
face on there, I think, because that way it'll help you love
don't
TNG
think
a bit
so.
better.
You need to get out of the 80s, Lisa.
It happened also in the early 90s.
Yeah, it did. Oh, and through the mid 90s with
and then
movies.
all the DS9s and the Voyagers.
Yeah, DS9 sucked.
I disagree with you, although I have
Not
to.
as hard as you.
I started watching it, and I have to admit, I will agree with you, and it pains me. Yeah, Avery Brooks can't fucking
No,
act. But
no,
I
he
like the show,
cannot
but he
fucking
can't
act.
fucking act.
No, I love him. I don't care. I love his acting. Go away. I hate
It's
you
not
all.
acting.
Yes, it is.
There's a different word
he
for it.
pretends to be a thing, and then he is. Whatever. Fuck you. I hate you so much. Fine. What's your favorite episode of The Simpsons? Don't disappoint me here, buddy.
All of them.
Yeah,
No, not all of them. What about
Nah.
the recent ones that suck balls?
well, some of the more recent ones aren't bad. Actually, I really like the one where they turned into Legos.
Yeah, that one was neat.
They
I have not seen that
came
one.
into a Lego universe. It was quite good.
I like the one where they met God and he had 5 fingers.
Yeah, that's right.
And they all just lost their shit. Or Jesus, sorry, it was Jesus, I think.
Or
That's
whichever
awesome.
one that is that Homer's dancing around. I am so smart. Doing his house
Yes,
sound.
MRT.
That's I think when he becomes an astronaut. Yeah.
Yeah, could be.
Oh yeah.
Or
I like
when he,
Mr. Plow is still one of my
Mr. Plow.
That's a good one. That's season 1, I think.
He just decides he's not going to church, so everybody
Yeah.
goes to church and he stays at home. I
Oh,
like
yeah.
that one.
Where all the
No.
animals are around him. He's like, guys, give me 5 minutes, please.
There's
No, I'm
actually
sorry.
there's a political undertone to that episode, actually,
Yeah.
with like the ending when all the multi-faith people get together and actually kind of try to work things out. And
Christian, Jew, miscellaneous, Hindu. There's how many million?
I like the one where he actually moved to Shelbyton.
I never saw that one.
He was working for that, or what was it, Shelbyton? Whatever.
Shelbyville.
Oh, no.
Shelbyville.
You mean the one where he's working for Hank Scorpio?
Yeah.
That one was awesome.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Maybe vaguely remember that one. No, the best Simpsons episode is the Australia one. There's no
That's a
question.
good one.
That is good.
America,
Beer,
Australia, America,
coffee,
Australia,
beer.
America, Australia.
I see you've played Knifey Spoony before.
Oh my
That's
god,
favorite
best episode ever.
And like I said, at supper, my joke that I crack up every time I see it is that March, Lisa.
For all you people
Oh, that's the
listening,
best.
25 and under, Simpsons was cool in the 90s.
So I had a Simpsons sweatshirt, not t-shirt, but fucking sweatshirt.
You get
dude.
sound bites in your head too. This happens to me at least once a week, where I get a Simpsons sound bite that just pops into my head. Like
There was a
Like-
point in life when no matter what conversation you were having, you could bring in a
Yeah,
course.
Simpsons was the thing. Yeah.
Mono, like, you know,
monorail. I was just going to look that up and play it, but another one that
that's
gets
awesome.
mono
another one
thingy
that
guy.
monorail. Yeah. What's that again?
monorail.
I feel like
I get that Margie, you came and you brought me a turkey.
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On my vacation away from
Worky.
Missed the 90s. See, the 90s were awesome.
Think of how
there
much
was
you
no
used-
Trump except as like some stupid rich idiot. Like,
It's also
that's all
because
it was just some
In the
stupid-
90s,
Yeah, that's right.
in the 90s, The Simpsons were relevant. And so were we.
Nah, I wasn't. Nah.
I don't recall being relevant in the
I'm
90s,
still
but anyway.
relevant. I'm still relevant. I have to be. That's my job.
Okay, what? Okay. Most embarrassing band you liked as a teenager?
I can answer that one.
Not as a teenager.
No, you were like 19 at the time, I think.
Okay,
No,
fine.
we
If
were
it was in your
20-something.
20s, it's also counts because that's even worse. You should have known better. What is it? S Club 7? It was S Club 7.
No, actually, it wasn't S Club
Limp
7.
Bizkit.
S Club.
I liked
I still like Limp Bizkit. Fuck you.
Some of that shit was pretty
you guys
catchy.
suck.
It's fun music. It,
No, it's
Yeah.
not.
Fred Durst is a moron,
Makes
but
me
it's
want to shoot
What were you going to
myself.
say, dude? What were you going to say?
Robin
Or Billy.
Like,
or Billy.
who then
Billy
redeemed
was cool,
herself
though.
by going on.
Show
By
me
being
like-
Doctor Who.
show me what it's all about. That
wrong
one?
with that?
No.
That's the one.
Holy shit. All
Nothing
right.
wrong with that.
No. No, sorry, I
That
didn't
beats
judge.
Limp Bizkit by like
It
1,000
actually-
points.
There's
Beats
still
Limp
some.
Bizkit. That's like the name of a porno. Like Beats Limp
Probably
Bizkit.
is.
Probably
Beats
is.
Limp Bizkit.
Probably is.
That's
Sorry.
fair. I still like some New Kids on the Block music. So
I'd draw
See,
the
no,
line.
I
at-
never did like
I'd
New
draw
Kids
the
on
line
Block.
at New Kids on the Block.
It's endearing.
I went to see them at their
Endearing.
reunion tour back in 09.
Is that right?
Awesome.
Back in
Awesome in-
09.
oh nine.
Oh yeah.
When were they
Me and my
playing?
friend, we screamed. It was
in
beautiful.
09. Some thought it was 07. Others thought it was 08.
Terrible.
That's okay. You know what? You know what? Pop music actually right now is like in the height of where it's ever been. So pop is cool. Pop is good.
Really? I find it really quite boring and dull.
I love
Yeah.
it. Oh, it's so good right now.
Like what? What do you like?
Like the Weeknd's album, fantastic.
It's great. It's terrific. It's fantastic.
I really like
His hair is huge.
It's huge.
It's got small hands.
I don't know. I like,
I like
Taylor Swift is an amazing pop artist. There's no way, man. Her last album was so good. Seriously, it was. No, pop is full of songwriting and texture.
Yeah,
now.
he's a sound guy,
It never,
right?
It never
He's
was
a
before.
a real music guy, so he's
Yeah.
got all the shit.
I don't
So
know.
he likes Taylor Swift and doesn't follow. Sorry, dude.
Sure, it does.
Well, the
No.
production on
She's
that
an
is
amazing
amazing.
artist.
And
She's a fantastic
You know what?
artist.
Yeah.
Well,
She
you know what?
described
I
as
don't
like a
mind
fascist
Taylor Swift.
Barbie
She's got-
last year. Like,
I like some of
terrible.
Bieber's
I
new
don't
music.
care for any of it myself. Well,
Yeah,
not off the top of my
Bieber's
head.
great.
I like
right
some
now.
of Bieber's new music.
the Biebs.
Yeah.
His last album was the like it
pretty
was
dreamy.
It was well written.
and it was the top album of the year besides Drake. So
I don't like
So,
Drake either.
No, I despise Drake.
I love Drake.
Test Drake.
Ugh.
I love it.
I like his waving away the fart dance. That's my
He
favorite.
has
Oh, I shit my pants.
Drake has turned Canada into the coolest place. Like it is. Like Toronto is the coolest
Since
place
Celine
to be.
Dion.
Toronto is the place to be. That's where every artist wants to go because it's Drake and all
What
his
artists
cronies.
want to go there? Nobody
Seriously.
wants to go. Drake went to the States to get famous. He didn't go to the States, leave
No, but he-
Canada to make a name for
but he's
himself.
popular because of his like Six connection, right? Like the Six running through the Six. He's the Raptors ambassador. He's like
Yeah.
he is Toronto. Like
Right.
that's the thing.
I fucking hate
You know?
Toronto.
Which is
Anyways,
why I
we've
don't
had this
like
argument
him.
before.
Well, to be fair, better him than what's his name with all the sexual assault charges against him.
Gian Gameshi?
Yeah.
Oh, Gian. Well,
Yeah.
he was never that popular. Like he was popular, but he wasn't.
He wasn't
wasn't
well known. He wasn't known
internationally-
outside of Canada.
I like,
wasn't
I like his
even-
music better.
He wasn't even that well known outside of liberal circles. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
like,
that's
you
true.
talk to the average person here, they don't know who the fuck Gian Gameshi was until he raped everybody.
Yeah,
I-
that's true. Once
I
he
knew he
raped,
was.
once he was,
Once
still
you
like-
rape everyone, everyone knows your name.
That's how it works.
Worked for Trump too.
yeah, no
And
shit.
Bill
That's how
Cosby.
you do it.
I still liked his music better than Drake's.
Ah, well.
Trump's
Moxie
music?
Fruvis was
Oh,
catchy.
well.
No,
Moxie
The
Fruvis.
rest,
Moxie Fruvis.
the rest of the music industry disagrees with you, so it's fine.
Oh yeah, unknown band, right? Yes.
I remember a time when the music industry and what was popular wasn't always on the
The
same
same.
page.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember when the most popular music wasn't on the radio? There were too many swear words and stuff. You know, like,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
When grunge was cool.
Like or like rap,
Yeah.
right? Like
Well-
and NWA, like, it wasn't on the radio, right? Like
When rap was actually rap.
See, the weird thing is if you
some
look
good
at
rap now.
if you look at musical trends, when the music hits the highest points, that's usually what people hate music the most, even though it sells fucking shit tons. It's a weird connection. Like,
See, that's
everyone
weird,
hates new metal. Like, everyone will say, fucking hate new metal.
Right,
But
they
it's
buy-
sold
everybody's
fucking
buying it. Yeah,
tons.
Nobody likes Nickelback, but they're super fucking rich and famous.
They're the richest fucking rock band in the world currently.
Yeah, but that's not saying much anymore.
No, it isn't. But
Are they?
Well,
No.
They're one of.
They're
one of.
sorry, they're one of the highest selling bands in the world. Period.
There was a point when
wait.
How You Remind Me was being played somewhere on radio every 36 seconds or something
Right.
like that.
Now it's every minute.
Yeah.
But nobody likes them. Nobody likes them.
No one likes porn either.
That's true, isn't it?
I have heard lots of people admit they like porn. I don't think I've ever heard anyone admit they like Nickelback. That's way more in the closet than
There's a little bit more shame with the Nickelback.
a lot more.
You have to
shame, I
qualify the
think.
demographic, though,
Yeah.
because there is a demographic. There's first of all, most Nickelback fans are probably 30 and up. I'm going to say that. Most Nickelback fans are of a certain political persuasion. And
from
That include gun racks.
And I was going to say through a certain geographic kind
That wasn't
of
always
area.
the case.
for Nickelback?
Yeah.
Well, I
re-
guess
like-
not,
Yeah,
no.
I remember in high
Leader
school
of
the
Man
guys
album
like
came out
Nickelback.
when that
That was a legitimate rock album for
Yeah.
everybody. Yeah.
I mean, I think what happened
I
is
didn't
when
like it.
Silver Side Up exploded,
whatever.
it's like any other band when they get too big,
Yeah.
everyone goes, oh, they're really popular, so I have to fucking hate them.
Well, they just got annoying with their, I don't know, like all their releases became
Well, they
boring-
became very formulaic.
boring recycled
But-
stuff.
For the listeners, the Shift to Reason radio this week has become the bonus content.
It has.
This is what we do during bonus content.
Tell us more.
That's okay though, because it's educational. Because we have a sound guy
That's true.
that does
there you
sound
That is
stuff.
true.
There you go.
I know. I'm having fun with this episode.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
That's
Yeah,
the
just-
important thing.
I'm
It's not like we have any
I'm just
listeners that
Having
really.
saying.
fun.
Well, no, we have listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
they
wasn't
pay
something
more
supposed to
money.
happen once we hit that $25 threshold?
Yes, I'm going to start extracting all our interviews from the episodes
Oh.
and turning them into YouTube videos. Not with live video, obviously, but with because we didn't
Let's do
take
it.
any
Why don't we
video.
reenact them?
Reenact
We can-
them.
We get little like
Oh, you mean it's going to be an audio video?
We'll do sock pit,
No,
It's gonna be a video
claymation!
with a picture.
Claymation!
sock puppet theater. So, how did you become an atheist?
Hey, your son might really enjoy that. If we can get him involved in some puppets.
Yeah.
We have to get
My
permission
son does
from
not
everybody
have a high
first.
opinion of this podcast.
Oh. Well, now he will with the puppets.
I think he might.
We
He's
can- he can-
fine.
Why do
to
they
be
keep
fair.
saying stupid things?
Why do they keep saying
He
dumb
can
things?
make his own puppet.
They
Then
always
you,
say
can't you already imagine the Gumby sock puppet going, so how many babies did you eat today?
It's just got blood all over its mouth. It's like,
That's the best imagery I've had.
They have to be
Oh,
Gummy
melted.
Lord.
faced sock puppet, blood all over it. How many babies did you eat today?
They have to be size relevant, so it's going to be a Christmas stocking.
Oh, I think we might have counteracted.
Dave's brown, so he doesn't get a sock.
Oh man,
Dude.
you could just represent me in a burrito.
Burrito wrapper.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, Jesus.
See, at least
It's okay. I have a brown friend.
we've totally
terrible person.
achieved net sum zero. We had the very intellectual beginning, and now this.
Yes. This comes
Zero.
out a week after, though. So now,
zero sum game here.
for the person who just listens to this portion first,
We owe them an hour of their life back.
We owe them their Patreon.
yeah.
we're losing money here. Buddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
If If you like what we're doing and want to help us keep the lights on, go become a patron at patreon.com/Brainstorm Podcast. You can hear the bonus half hour that we record every episode and get a shout out when you support the show. Become a patron for just $1 an episode at patreon.com/Brainstorm Podcast. Or you can support the show by ordering a t-shirt, mug or other gear from our store at caffeepress.ca/Brainstorm Podcast Gear. If you can't afford to become a patron or buy gear, then why not give us a rating or write a review on iTunes or Stitcher? Every rating makes it easier for people to find us. Thanks for your support.
We are given one life, full of billions of small and large decisions. To be somebody, to change, to be kind, to give hope, to become a better person, and to leave a lasting impact on this planet. It is a decision to be made every single day while your heart is still beating. We've made our decision. Absence of clothing. Atheist and science-based apparel and merchandise, donating 50% of our profits to charity. Look good and feel good, without God. Check us out at absenceofclothing.com and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest for discount codes and other sweet swag.
Use the code BRAINSTORM at absenceofclothing.com and get 10% off.
Are you done getting your brain stormed?
We here at Packard Pokesat, we poke at beliefs, religion, news, and oddities from across the web.
Join us, along with occasional guest hosts from people in the secular atheist movement,
where we poke at all of this and more Friday nights
at vaughnlive.tv/PackardPokesat.
Okay, Connie, are we done with this promo?
Well, how are they supposed to find us, Packard?
Oh, shit. I forgot about that. I know. They can find us using a compass.
No, that won't work.
Well, they can find us at Packard Pokesat at WordPress.com. Where can they find us? Well, they
all the way back to Newark.
All the way back in Newark. Well, they can find us. They can find us at Packard Pokesat on packardpokesat.wordpress.com, Twitter, Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, and YouTube.
Just don't try the magic 8-ball.
Yeah, I know. I tried that last week, but all I got was try again later.
I have a really good question for you.
Okay.
The podcast. So you're the founder.
Right.
It's been going on for a while.
The great leader.
Where does this come from? Why does this happen? What's going on?
I asked myself that.
I guess my stock answer when people ask me on other shows is that it's just a product of my giant ego. Because, after my separation, I was up in the city drinking with the guys every 2 weeks when I had time off. And I was just like, you know what? We're fucking brilliant.
I'm still pissed off at you that you started this thing because that totally shattered my fucking bubble.
Right, eh?
Like you thought you were brilliant before this?
Well, yeah, we thought we were smart.
We thought we were smart.
And now
we
know we're
legitimately
idiots.
thought we were smart people. And now we just know we're not.
So in other words,
Sorry, so how did that come? How did you learn you weren't smart? Like what
Well,
is
the
that?
more
How
people
is this
you,
demonstrated?
the more
We
you
talk to
read,
smart people.
the more you interview, the more you
yeah, I
learn,
know.
the more you realize that holy fuck, not only am I ignorant now, but I was super ignorant before. Like,
Lots of big words, man.
so what you're saying is this shouldn't be the Brainstorm podcast, it should be called The Drunk and Delusional.
yeah, that's
Okay.
But even the name is egotistical.
right, eh?
It's so bad.
Man, I just
Yeah.
realized I'm the only non kind of founding friend person here, so I just sort of witnessing.
Yeah.
There's no Leo or Angela here to buffer.
Yeah, well, we used to do it with, we used to have Mike and Raz on, and JT was on for a couple episodes.
Yeah.
And
Are these like friends you met just around?
friends that we've had for years.
Bajillions of years.
Except for JT, I guess
Eons.
he knows Gumby from work, but yeah, everybody, we grew up together. We spent high school together, and we thought we were fucking brilliant. And then
mostly smart ass. Really, that's the key. More so than brilliant.
Yeah, we used to think we were hilarious, and then
you're up to $25 an episode. People like you.
Yeah,
That's only taken 3 years.
Yeah, shit. And
it's really skyrocketing.
I quite like the new additions like Angela and Leo and yourself. Like,
yeah, they're all right. Oh.
Remember we had.
I think they're a good fit for.
They're a very good counterbalance.
I think you guys are a good fit for the show. Good personalities for us.
There was a time when like the entire Mazda crew was trying to take over. So what happened with that? Where did
they're
those
all
guys
a bunch
go?
of flakes.
Yeah, they're all a bunch of flakes.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Chris came on the show once, realized he couldn't keep up with us, and then made excuses.
I thought he was awesome.
He did fine.
No, he was talking out of his ass the whole time and looking everything up before he said it, and just reading catchphrases off of his computer.
Maybe
he was just selling it.
Maybe they're too weighed down by the guilt of selling the substandard equipment that you have to unplug from the wall before you back out.
Yeah. So our brilliant scientist doesn't know how to unplug a block heater, and apparently it's
because you're supposed to have a block heater warning light that bings at you.
This is what
actually that would be totally something you could do. Like if you turned on your car and your block heater's still plugged in, a light could come on.
Yeah, fuckers.
No, okay.
Fix it.
It totally could.
How?
You have to create some sort of electronic circuit
put
that would
an extra fucking connector under the fucking.
Okay, dude, your car is plugged in. There's obviously a current running, right? If that current is running, you could have some whatever light go on. Yes. Don't look at me that way. It's not fucking
much like the end of the plug that is glowing before you plug it in. Yes. It could work.
You guys know how block heaters work, right?
Yes, it's a plug-in to a heater.
Electricity flows
Electricity
through a
goes
resistor.
to a heater.
Heat is created. That is my understanding.
To a point where it heats up like a specific.
It would take an extra wire, is what it would take.
So there's a thermal reactive rod. And it gets put into the
in rod we trust.
The drain plug gets taken out for your coolant, and this rod gets put into your coolant system. That's now the plug.
Okay, I don't care about any of this shit, dude. If I take some needle nose pliers and bend the plug back straight, is it gonna work?
Yes.
It's only the ground one that's all fucked.
Yeah. The ground one doesn't
as long as you
even
don't
matter.
break it. Yeah.
Even the ground one, right?
Even if you break the ground one, it'll still
Woo!
work.
All right, I'm good. Then maybe that is a good design.
Even the positive and negative, like you can.
Yeah, you just replace it
bend
with
those,
a tine from a fork.
Is it bad that the whole wire came,
it'll
like
still
all
work.
the whole thing came out of there?
No, what happened is those. You know where
it was coiled up
where
in
it
there
was
somewhere.
coiled up?
Yeah, all right.
Well, it was, and it was actually zip tied to one of those little things that come
You
down.
guys have deficient zip ties too?
No,
Holy fuck!
no, the zip ties are very strong. In fact,
not as strong as my engine.
Actually, yes. As you were backing up, that zip tie that was connected to your cord and held your cord to the car, broke the car where they were connected. The zip tie is still there. Part of your car is broken.
So the car is the defective part.
Is that shit under warranty?
Zip tie's awesome.
No, there's actually a clause in your warranty not covered for dumb. It's in the fine print.
It's got to be in the fine print or nobody would ever sign it.
Despite having degrees, dumb decisions do not.
The funny thing is the same thing happened to my car, but I wasn't driving it.
You know what? That's a good reason not to
saying
get
who
too
did
many degrees. The more degrees you get, the dumb shit you do. People are like, what the fuck is
that,
wrong with
then
you?
you're really held liable. It's
What
like,
kind of moron?
you should have known better with all that schooling.
They never learned me this in physics class, man. All they did was talk about like wave particle duality and shit, not fucking
used to
unplugging
be,
your goddamn block.
Or they would
heater.
talk about if a black hole is actually spiraling, then if you went through it, there's a pretty good chance that you're going to end up in an alternate universe.
We never discuss stupid shit like that. You know what? Honestly, this whole
That's
conversation
actually
isn't going to
true.
make any goddamn sense to anybody who's not living in like Western Canada. Because people like when I lived in Ontario, live in Toronto, I would call and say, "Hey, does your parking lot have like plug-ins so I can plug in my car. They're like, I don't know
Right,
what you're
yeah,
talking
they
about.
don't.
Like they
What's
don't
a
even
plug-in?
fucking have
We don't.
them. Like,
We
they
don't do
even know.
electric cars. No electric cars.
No, yeah, that's what they would say. No, I'm not kidding. That's what they would say. Yeah, for real. Sorry, I yelled too much, and you're gonna have to equalize and be mad at me. So
That's fine.
I did bad.
I'm
By
just
this
deaf
point,
now.
nobody's listening anymore.
Yeah, no. He lost them a long time ago.
You know, I always feel like if I lived in the States, my car expenses would be like half of what they are here because of winter. Like it's like wear
For
and
sure.
tear.
Yeah.
If you lived in
Block
Ontario,
meters,
your
like-
car expenses would be twice as high because your car would rust to shit every 5 years. 'cause
Oh,
they
there you go.
put
So your
some
car
salt and
expenses would be
everything.
half of what they are. And with our dollar value and conversion and everything else, it will cost you the same.
No, but Trump's America is going to make it better. He's going to make cars there, and they're going to be awesome and stuff.
You know what? Let me.
Oh my God,
let me
Trump
give-
cars. Oh, I need to get in on the ground floor designing those fucking things.
Can I give one?
The one where Homer designed the car? That's Trump cars.
That's
Wait, can I
definitely
give one
Trump
more
cars.
example of how scientists can be super stupid? I was at a conference in Vegas, or a training session in Vegas, learning whatever, how to use some medical physics equipment, complicated software actually. And I'm there, and it happens to be during the Nevada primary, and the dude next to me says, you know what? I got to take off early because I got to go see Trump give his rally this afternoon. He puts on his Make America Great hat on and he leaves. He's a fucking physicist. Okay.
Oh, no.
So it doesn't,
Yeah.
it's just.
Well, I mean, there were some really good scientists on Hitler's team. I mean, they did some interesting
That's
research.
true. That's because
Himmler
Hitler
funded
at
Himmler?
least funded
Yeah,
his
it wasn't-
scientists.
yeah, it wasn't actually-
Hitler funded his scientists.
None of it was Hitler anyway.
Yeah.
It's mostly what?
Hitler's government
Cory
funded
and-
them.
Much like Trump, it was all his underlings that did everything.
Yeah.
Kellyanne Goebbels.
Can we just have a moment of silence for those affected by the Bowling Green massacre?
Oh my fucking
Can we just have
Mike Himmler.
the Bowling
Green massacre. Fuck.
Jesus.
Oh, did you guys read the
Murdered.
comments to that? We were talking
Okay,
about that earlier.
I'll admit I'm a little out of the loop on that. I saw some stuff about it, but I don't know what was that all about.
Okay, so what happened was in Bowling Green, is that Colorado? No, where is it?
I don't know where it is.
Wherever it is.
I can't remember where it is.
At some point, there were two people that had come over to the U.S., and they were trying to buy guns, and they were sending money back to Iraq. Or not to Iraq. Might have been in Iraq. It was, anyway, a terrorist cell. They got apprehended and put in prison for associating with terrorists, right? Well...
Okay, so they got caught.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there was no massacre. Nobody was shot at. They were just picked up, arrested, put in jail. And this chick's bitching. Kellyanne is like, oh, and they didn't even report when this massacre happened because there was none.
There was none.
Yeah.
But the comment thread under that is like, yeah, it's terrible. Nobody commented on it, and it's the worst thing. I died there.
You know, recently on Full Frontal, Samantha Bee showed quite a few clips of Kellyanne Conway before she became part of Trump's team, saying very intelligent, critical things that we were all thinking about Trump. And I don't think the woman, it's just incredibly cynical. She's just that
She
much
has
of
no
a
soul.
She's actually that much of a shill. Yeah, she has no integrity at all.
Well,
But she's not dumb.
Pence
But
is the
she-
exact same, except Pence is dumb.
Well, but she must be a little bit dumb because.
No, I don't think she believes any of it. I think it's just for money or
how can you just like make up something that you know people are going to fact check?
Because
she knows her people don't give a flying fuck. Her supporters do not give a
Fake
flying
news.
Fake news.
fuck. That's the whole argument. There isn't even a verb in that sentence, and that's the argument. Okay,
Fake news.
and that's okay for Trump supporters. Ain't need no verbs.
I mean, Trump, how many times has Trump said bullshit? People said, but you said this bullshit. Here, I have a screen capture of the tweet you sent out that was
Fake
bullshit.
tweet.
And then he'd be like, no, I didn't do that. Like,
and nobody who supports
Not
him
true.
cares. They
So-
don't care.
Interesting. This is on a semi-related note. Kevin O'Leary no, but this is interesting.
All of us at the same time were like,
He was recently interviewed. I can't remember. I think it was on CNN. Actually, I was watching, And
it's got to be real.
They
I was going to say fake news.
It was fake news, unfortunately.
Fake news.
But he was being interviewed. It was fake, though. No, but because he was saying, first of all, that he didn't like. This is reassuring. He's like, yeah, like Trump's brand of politics with anti-immigration doesn't make sense with himself because he's half Lebanese or something like that, or like he has immigrant roots himself,
right?
And he's like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that, and blah blah. Anyway, that part was fine, but he went on to talk about, like, they kind of called him out on some shit that he said before on TV, and he's like, well, that was reality TV, that was for entertainment. he's like, but now this is all like this from now on here. This is all true. This is all much more calculated. He's
And
like,
once the campaign got going, Trump was going to be more presidential.
yeah, exactly.
He was going to learn great things. Like,
because they showed a clip of him saying, of Kevin O'Leary saying, if I was prime minister or president or whatever he said in the clip, he's like, I would make all unions illegal and lock anybody up who was in them. And they're like, did you mean that? And he's like, well, that was just for television. We had really entertaining television.
Fuck off.
Fake news.
Fake news.
I know that's illegal, but he's smarter than Trump. I mean, he knows like
yeah.
Like, he's not an idiot, but he's obviously
an idiot.
Some of those things.
He is an idiot, but he's not that kind of idiot.
Not that kind of idiot.
It's still the same fundamental problem of, I run a business so I can run a government. No, they're two separate kind of fucking entities. This bullshit of conflating the two is...
Yeah. It's not the same thing. Stop pretending it is.
No, it's bullshit. Because otherwise you wouldn't be cutting taxes every 5 seconds because that's your profit.
You kind of need that.
Yeah, fuck.
But yeah, look it up. O'Leary video on CNN. It's pretty interesting.
So much for regulating drugs in the States. Eh?
Yeah.
Trump was going to regulate and lower drug prices.
Was he?
Yeah, so much for regulating the fucking banks. He killed those. He just wanted to kill those regulations too.
Yeah, draining the swamp, regulating business and finances.
Except now he's talking about completely deregulating pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
Well.
When he's shutting down the FDA, basically, and the EPA anyway, I don't see what...
Rules. Who needs
I'm sorry,
rules?
America. I'm really sorry about your president.
No, why be sorry? They elected him.
They got what they deserve.
Yeah. Next time, maybe more of you fuckers should vote.
Well, I don't know. I feel like there's people out there that they did what they could, and the rest of the population still fucked them.
But the voter turnout was too low. It was
much. Yeah.
I saw a graph, and it was done in, for comedic effect.
Yeah.
But it was something like they showed like however it was like 62 million voted for Trump, 3 or 66 million, whatever the number was voted for Hillary.
Right.
And then there was this big chunk of 53 million people who suddenly give a shit.
Yeah. That didn't vote.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, but Hillary was the worst, so I couldn't vote for her either.
Well, part of the responsibility does though lie with the party is not putting forward any good candidate.
Oh yeah.
There are two bad candidates, so everyone gets cynical and frustrated, and you get apathy, and it's
Well, I mean, the problem is on the Republican side with this last group, there was no good choice.
There were no good choice. There wasn't a single one.
At least with the
them.
last go round, Romney, I didn't like him, but you know what?
He would have been tolerable.
He would have been
infinitely better than Trump.
He's an intelligent Reagan.
I thought Jeb Bush would have been better than anybody else.
Jeb Bush would have been great.
In comparison to what we're getting.
Yeah, that could have been his tagline: better than Trump.
Better than Trump.
Yeah.
And
low energy, but better than Trump.
And almost any candidate would have been better than Clinton, not in terms of necessarily how she would have governed, but how she would have fared in the voting booth. Like she was very disliked, and it just,
mind you, I think the problem is
they forced her on there. Like no, people didn't want her. She didn't have a lot of support.
I think part of it was the sex. There was sexism was part of it.
Yeah,
small one. But
Elizabeth Warren would not have gotten that kind of animosity.
She wasn't interested. She wasn't even interested in running.
But I know, but I'm saying if somebody like her had run, you don't. I don't know.
But the thing is
somebody,
how much
somebody
how
like
much,
her did run.
Who?
Bernie.
Well,
Okay, sorry, no, but if
he
another
would've
woman
named
like
her
her
a
had
running
run,
mate,
another
If Bernie would have named her a running mate, I think it would have been a different election.
Possibly. I don't know. I think the attack ads would have just taken a different spin.
Yeah, I think so.
Socialist Jew running? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but there
Yeah,
are
but I think
legitimate-
Liz-
but there were legitimate criticisms of Hillary Clinton. Like she really did have, like the Clinton Foundation really did have issues, and she really did have an email scandal. Obviously, not even close to nearly as bad as anything Trump has ever said or done or thought.
I think they way blew that one out of proportion.
Yeah, of course
Thanks,
they
Russia.
did. Of course they did. But Hillary Clinton wasn't untouchable as some other candidate. She didn't have the integrity.
Well,
And
no,
she
has
had
30 years of 30 years of public life baggage.
Yeah.
But she also had
Yeah.
30 solid years of public service.
Yes.
No, yeah, I know, but
What else do you want?
well, I want a candidate that when the voters who are on the fence are going to look at somebody, they're not disgusted by the choices that they have. I want
Wow, but
somebody with clear integrity.
I honestly think with the current propaganda machine that was leveled at Hillary, nobody else would have fared any better.
No.
I disagree. And what if Obama could have run again? Obama versus Trump. I mean, he had integrity. He had, he didn't have the scandal she had.
Yeah.
Someone like
But
Elizabeth Warren had wanted
it would
to
have
run.
been more
she
of the
didn't
same,
have the
which
scandals.
is kind of the whole point that
Like
they could have.
Hillary would say anything bad about the Saudis. The Saudis, even though it would absolutely not ostracize anybody in the vote to say anything bad about the Saudis, but she wouldn't do it. She couldn't say anything about. She had a really hard time saying anything about women's rights, because she was so nasty to the women who accused her husband of bad behavior, right? So she really just she flopped around on abortion over the course of her career. She flopped around on gay rights.
See, that used to be my thought about her, that she flip flopped. She didn't. She held a position.
Yeah,
and then she got educated and changed it, like you're supposed to do, especially over 30 years.
Sorry, I'm not criticizing her as a person. I'm criticizing her optics and the fact that they put her forward as a candidate when they could have put someone forward who would have had a better chance of beating the Republican candidate. And the Democrats forced her to be they wanted her to be the candidate so bad. They railroaded, for example, Bernie Sanders, so that he didn't have a chance, right? Anyways, they shot themselves in the foot in a lot of ways.
Yes and no.
By forcing her forward as a
think.
candidate.
I mean, the biggest criticisms of the Democrats, and it's always been the case, is that they always make this safe choice, the quote unquote safe choice, right? Whether the Republicans go all or nothing, and so many different when they're running different down ballots and whatever else, whereas where the Democrats are like, well, you know what? I'm safe here. I'm going to make sure I get elected here. And they don't want to rock the boat. And I think ultimately they picked Clinton because she was the safe choice. Because 30 years experience, she's held the money, blah, blah, blah. Like all those things that we want to criticize them, to most, the higher ups, they see that as the safe choice. Bernie Sanders, as I like Bernie Sanders, but he has been an independent for how long in the Senate? He only joined the Democratic Party to make a run for the presidency. There was no party loyalty there, so why would they back him? I'm being pragmatic.
From their perspective.
But where did they lose? Where did they lost in the Rust Belt? They lost in these states where they couldn't see themselves in Hillary Clinton. She's waspy white woman from money.
This is where that argument is a complete and utter bullshit, because how can they see themselves in Trump? The man has wall-to-wall gold in his house.
He said what they wanted to hear. He talked about issues that were important to them. Even if of course nobody believes that he gives a shit one way or another.
Then again, that's the thing, is Clinton actually, as was shown, she spoke the truth of all of them. She was even 1% truthier than Bernie Sanders. To use a Stephen Colbert kind of turn of phrase.
Right.
But
no, I'm sorry. I'm not talking about how many truthful statements she makes. I'm talking about the perception of her.
But that's what I mean, is that they just cranked out that machine because, for how long as Secretary of State? She was a decent Secretary of State.
Yeah,
but
she had high approval ratings.
Benghazi,
Yeah.
Benghazi,
Yeah.
Benghazi, blah, 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 blah,
Propaganda.
blah.
Oh yeah,
machine.
they're awful. The right wing machine of
And-
propaganda is awful.
And and people bought into it. It's
And-
just
Absolutely.
that's.
And that's why.
And like you say, I mean, she was an easy target. She had too many minor things that could be blown way out of proportion.
There were legitimate concerns against her, and a lot of people, for a lot of left-leaning people, she wasn't their ideal candidate. Yeah, she was eons, orders of magnitude better than Trump. Like, you can't even, of course, but...
Yeah, I don't feel like there's any good excuse for anyone who was anywhere near left
But
to not vote for Hillary when she was going against Trump.
agree, but you guys remember 2008? Do you remember the enthusiasm for Obama? Not only people were like, whatever, hold my nose and I'll just vote.
Yeah,
no, like,
but
people
let's
were
also-
excited about him. Like, that's
But
what you
also-
need in a candidate. You need somebody people
Yes,
can
but
get
also
behind.
remember
Yeah, but
how much
Nobody else stepped forward. Who else was there? Who else was there to be excited about?
I believe
it
the
doesn't
Democratic
matter.
Party
You have
pushed
these
other
people.
other
That's it.
options down. Hillary Clinton very, very, very aggressively pursued that nomination, and I don't think and the party was behind her, and I mean certainly Bernie Sanders did, and he actually had supporters who really, really, really cared, and really, that's what you need. You need people who give a shit about your candidate.
I still don't think that any of that is a reasonable excuse for the people who
You're
didn't.
right, but human beings being as
They
they
didn't
are, they need
look
to
at
have
it
an
and go-
emotional attachment to their candidate. Just like, you show up to buy a house, and even though this house matches everything on your list, if you don't feel it,
I have
don't
less
buy it,
trouble. I have
it's-
less trouble believing that so few people voted for Clinton as I do believing that so many people voted for Trump.
My emotional attachment is to the world not ending.
Or it could come close.
That's where I'm at.
I mean, I think that's where this whole election is just, and it kind of makes me scared for Canada's election because we always seem to follow their trends one or two election cycles later, and it's already
so
kinda,
what's that going to do for us?
well, that's just it. Is we've already got the knee jerk reaction against Trudeau. There's a bit of hope with Trudeau. Like, I mean, yes, he's doing things we don't like, but there is hope with Trudeau, kind of like there was with Obama, not to the same extent. Blah blah blah. But now, who are we going to get? Everyone just blindly behind Kevin O'Leary because he'll make Canada great again?
Another,
and there's already people doing it.
Yeah.
There's already the apologists, the he's not as bad as he seems, and like you said, like he said on his interview with CNN, like that's just for reality TV, and people buy into that shit. Like they just accept that.
I want to go back to what Lisa was saying for a sec. The one thing about where they get emotionally charged and behind their candidate, and that being what you needed, the flaw there, I think, is having a Democratic nominee that has that kind of emotional backing from his supporters.
or her.
Whatever. Sorry, I'm not trying to be an ass. Going up against Trump, not going to work because Trump is only running strictly on the negative emotions of the country.
But a lot of
you
people
cannot beat that. You can't beat negative emotions.
But whereas a lot of people held their nose to vote for Hillary Clinton, a lot of people held their nose to vote for Trump. It's not like not everyone who voted for Trump was a super hardcore supporter of him and who believed in it. They were just like, well, I don't know, shitty decision. I'll just choose this one. Like, I think you present a better candidate and you get more people.
No, I agree because you know what, with Obama, when they polled people after, the people would have voted for Obama over Trump. Like in terms of how many people wanted him to continue.
If he could have legally got run again, fuck, there would be no question.
And also, can I just say that she really missed the ball in not going with Clittery? I mean, like she could really have, she could have honestly, really gotten a lot of votes.
The biggest mistake she made was the word deplorables.
Yeah,
When
that was
she
a big
said
mistake.
that,
Because there is this weird thing of, and that's what Trump tapped into, is this whole idea of, you smart people are talking down to me.
Yeah.
And I can kind of see why people...
if smart people talk down to you, you're idiots.
No, that's what Renee's saying. You cannot beat Trump when it comes to negative emotional attacks.
Yeah.
You can't get into
because
that game.
because what it is it touched off that fuck you knee jerk reaction. It's like, fuck yeah, I want this guy because he's telling you to go fuck yourself. Yeah, you know, and that's what it touched into. Like I was watching an interview with. I mean, it's politics. Don't take celebrities' political views for fucking anything. But Viggo Mortensen was. They were interviewing him, and he was talking like before the election the difference of because he lives in the Europe. And he says the difference is
the Europe.
Sorry, I was going to say in the Netherlands, and then ended up saying Europe. But when he was over there, he says they vote more intellectually than in the States. In the States, they vote emotionally. Mm. I mean, it's kind of like in Canada, we always talk about strategic voting. They don't fucking strategic vote down in the States.
No, that's true.
You know.
What have I heard it said before? A vote is not a love letter. It's more of a chess game, right? It's a move in a game. It's not a love letter.
Whereas
every vote is strategic. It's whether or not it's a good strategy or not.
Whereas down in the States, they don't give a shit. It's about, like someone was saying how with Bush, he got elected because they really spun that idea of who would you rather have a beer with,
right?
George Bush or Al Gore? Well, Al Gore was this boring egghead, so you wouldn't want to
actually won the election.
Well,
yeah, he still
that's true.
Again, the Democrats got screwed by the Electoral College.
And the Supreme Court gets to decide everything at the end. It was so stupid.
But yet, even after they, 4 years of Bush and he fucked everything up, they still reelected him, and they actually reelected him.
Yeah, that's right.
There was no debate in this.
The Democrats put a dud in on that time, though. Jeez.
Kerry?
John Kerry was such a dud. Such a poor candidate.
I think it's actually probably pretty hard to come up with a. It's hard to come up with a good candidate generally, but even more in an election where you're coming up against an incumbent because you're much less likely to win.
Exactly.
So you're not gonna if you run for president and you lose that race, then you're not gonna be able to run again, right? So you're not gonna waste your chance on going against an incumbent who you think you might lose against. So that's why you only really get a really good option every 8 years.
Jon Stewart.
No.
He'll never run.
No, let's
Warren.
And honestly, you're going to argue somebody's unqualified. I mean, Jon Stewart's very good at running a comedy show. But
he'll be the first to admit that.
Yeah.
I wish somebody could convince Michelle Obama to get in the ring, to be honest.
Never happen.
Yeah, it won't happen, but I wish somebody could convince
Of course. I would gay marry her too. Exactly. And I'd straight marry her husband.
Who wouldn't?
I'd gay marry her and straight marry her husband. Whatever.
No, opposite. You would have to gay marry Barack Obama and straight
now
marry.
you're determining my gender.
Yeah, I am.
No, your gender has already been determined.
I can change my mind.
Well, you can, but have you?
I haven't married them yet either. I haven't even started wooing. I have not yet begun to woo.
And that brings us to the next segment, the woo. No, okay, tell us your woo report. No, just kidding.
I think it's too late for that shit.
I don't think we're going to get into that tonight.
No, but who you're wooing, that's what the woo report is.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm wooing Chomsky. I'm wooing Chomsky. I'm sorry. He's just so sexy.
Do you got a rim shot sound on that word? Ba-dum-bum.
Just some random drums on there. Some suspense drums on there.
All right. So we got
nothing.
We got.
We're a great podcast. Have some podcast self-esteem.
Today, Will bumped his Patreon pledge from $5 to $10.
Woo!
Which lets me drop mine by $5.
Where's that clap button? Where's that clap button? Hit the clap.
That's right. Thank you, Will. That's fucking amazing. It's super cool that somebody actually values what we do enough.
That's a really long cheering.
Yeah.
What the fuck does that
You know what I'm thinking? You know what I'm thinking right now?
What's that?
He probably feels like that was like a guy that didn't really want to vote for Trump, but he voted for Trump and not really regretting it.
Yeah.
Don't regret
He's
it.
like,
Will.
I put one too many zeros in there.
Oh, shit.
He's trying to drop it to $1.
He was going to take it down to $1. No. He also sent an email, so we know that it was on purpose.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait for the other email next time.
Yeah. Yeah, he said congratulations on getting over our $25 goal, which is because of him, and that we should buy some hot chocolate or a new mic or something. But
I think Mike would be mad if we replaced him with a new one.
Yeah. We should get a new mic. He also, I'll read the rest of his email because this is all kind of interesting stuff. He said, I took a quiz this week, well, several, to identify my political leanings. I know how I feel about a lot of things, but I thought it would be good to reassess. Also, I was hoping to find areas and issues I don't know enough about to have an opinion and start researching. The reason I bring it up is because some of the possible answers in one of the quizzes were surprisingly scary, mainly because I assume there are enough people who would choose any given option to warrant it being on the quiz. So he gives an example, and the question is, should prisons ban the use of solitary confinement for juveniles? And the options are, should prisons ban the use of solitary confinement for juveniles? The options are yes, no, but it is currently being overused, no, it is necessary for violent criminals who are a danger to themselves and other inmates, yes, we should create more social programs to prevent and rehabilitate criminals, yes, it is severely psychologically damaging to young undeveloped minds, and add your own stance. But he was quite concerned that number 4 even is on the list, which is no, it is necessary for violent criminals who are a danger to themselves and other inmates.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Obviously, it's the last one.
And yeah, that's the right answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Truth.
After taking the quiz, I think my country is crazy. Yeah. If someone on the crew is interested in the kinds of personalities in America, it might give some high-level insights. It's 2016 political quiz. I'll add the links in the show notes. It was actually Aaron Rod just took this and had like a 30-minute video on his YouTube channel about the same thing. And he's approximately, when he took it, it placed him in the same area as Noam Chomsky. So
I should take the American one. I took the Canadian version.
I want to take one. I want to take a quiz.
I've taken a number of them over the years, but always interested in taking another one. So at that, we're going to start closing the show for the night.
Okay, bye.
Oh, I guess I should mention the end of his email. He said, remember everyone, this is your only life, so live it well.
Very true.
Yes. And if you want to get in touch with us, you can do so.
Cory's cell phone number.
Send an email to mail@brainstormblog.net or go to our website, brainstormblog.net, and go to the contact page. There's a demographic survey on our website at the top under all the other headings. Click it, take the survey.
We have a website?
We do. Brainstormblog.net. Yeah. To get bonus content, full-length ad-free episodes, and other bonuses by becoming a patron at patreon.com/brainstorm podcast. Just like Daryl, Will, Rob. I'm going to switch that so that Will is at the head of that, the start of that, because he's the biggest.
Be like Will.
He's our head Patreon.
He's our head Patreon patron. Daryl, Will, Daryl, Rob, Nathan, Justin, George, Stephanie, and Janet. You can join us in 2 weeks for the next live broadcast on Spreaker.com. Just enter Brainstorm Podcast into the Spreaker search bar, or you can go to our website, brainstormblog.net, and check out the live show page and the upcoming events. Rate us and write a review on iTunes or Stitcher and hit that subscribe button. If you leave a review, then let us know, and remember to tell us where you are from so we can look at which store it's in. Thanks, Dave, for our intro music. Thanks to Alex Kepper-Murdoch for doing the voiceover for the intro and for some of our ads. Thanks to Jason Camo for our outro music. You can find his stuff at aloststateofmind.com. All music played is either with permission or under the SOCAN license to play. For more information on SOCAN, you can check out the music license info on our website, brainstormblog.net. T-shirts, mugs, and other cool shit is available at cafepress.ca/brainstormpodcastgear. And once again, I'm going to say, make sure to give us an email at mail@brainstormblog.net. We love hearing from you guys. Thanks for listening, and make sure to join us again on February 17th with our guest, Ross Balch of the Brisbane Skeptics Society. Thanks again, and remember, the truth matters.
And it's out there.
It's not out there. It's in here.
Wanted to say thanks to everyone who listens to us, shares the show, gives us a rating on iTunes or Stitcher, or supports us through Patreon and Gumroad. We don't have a lot of interaction sometimes with our listeners, but what we have had proves that we attract some of the best people around. Smart, kind, and cool. An audience truly worthy of the titles hardcore and woo-free. Thanks for helping us make the world a smarter place.
This is an opinion-based podcast. Each person on the podcast is responsible for their own opinions, and those opinions don't necessarily reflect the views of the rest of the panel. Any guests or anyone associated with the people on the podcast, such as spouses, partners, children, other family members, friends, or employers. No one person speaks for the podcast with the possible exception of Cory, and he doesn't speak for anyone else on the show. The Brainstorm podcast does not represent the views of our sponsors.